Majic 105.7.
It is the Magic Morning Show. I'm Mark Nolan, along with Jimmy Malone, Chip Kullik, and Tracey Carroll. 800-669-1057, 578-1057. Your number's into the studio. You can email us anytime, morningshow@WMJI.com, and the text line is 37337. Just make sure you put magic there at the beginning of that text. We got to take a listen into this for a second, and we're going to give you a quiz. Stand by.
Long ago, and oh so far away.
So the question is, who is singing that?
That is definitely Karen Carpenter.
It is.
No doubt about it.
Unfortunately,
I'm all
it is
in.
not Karen
All in.
Carpenter. Yes.
Wrong.
It is Helen Welch is who is singing that. And good morning. Thank you for being with us
Thank
here.
you for inviting me on. I admire you guys getting up at this time in the morning every day.
Yes, it is.
And it's a very British-themed show. I was
really is.
listening in the car on my way here.
A lot of stories out of the UK.
I know.
But the interesting thing is, you're a local. You're a local
I
now.
am. I moved here in 2003. I became a citizen in 2009.
How about you?
All right. I was
Yeah.
invited to sing the national anthem at the Cleveland Indians that year as
that's
my
great.
sort of citizenship thing.
Yeah.
And so I do have a home still in England, but this is home.
Oh, that's one. And not just any. Did I? You're going to live in a log cabin?
I do. Wow, that news travels fast.
Well, for me, that's the ultimate dream.
Oh, really?
You know, that
You
is
have to come
fantastic.
Tell
That
him
is wonderful.
roughly where, because
Yes.
he knows the area.
In the middle of nowhere.
He's kind
Okay.
of from around those parts.
Perfect. Okay, that's great. This is Superstar is the name of the show, and it's coming up. It's Sunday. It's at the Ohio Theater, Playhouse Square. Showtime's 3:30. Also releasing a soundtrack for this. Give us a little bit of background on the show itself.
Yeah.
So it's Superstar, the songs, the stories of the Carpenters. How'd you get involved?
Well, it's an interesting story. When I moved here in 2003, I was very quickly asked and thrilled to be asked to sing at Nighttown on a weekly residency at the Jazz Club every week.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Great place.
But one week we were there, and it was really noisy. There was a big table of people that weren't there for the music.
Oh, no.
And they're really, really noisy. And I had this piece of music, but I'd never sung a Carpenter song in public. I was what I call a CCF, a closet Carpenters fan.
As many people
Right.
are.
Sounds like a medical term.
Yeah.
Right. So I turned to the band and I said, let's do this song. And they just laughed. They said, a Carpenters song? And I said, well, nobody's listening. So
We say that all the time.
so I started singing,
Yeah.
and within about a minute, could hear a pin drop.
Oh, wow.
And at the end, everybody went nuts. And the next day, we were in a different venue. But I realized when we arrived, it wasn't perhaps the right venue for me to sing at. But being new, I didn't know what
Sure.
was. It was kind of like a very nice biker bar.
Okay.
And the band said, "Sing a Carpenters tune," and I said, well, we're going to get lynched anyway. We may as well get it over with quickly.
No.
So we started singing the same song, and within about 30 seconds, not only did they go silent, but they all started singing.
Oh, my gosh.
And this big light
sorry, the
bulb
bikers started
went.
singing?
Yes.
They all
Yes.
started singing the Carpenters.
Everybody loves the
Love it.
Carpenters.
Yes.
Just not everybody wants to admit that they
Yeah.
love the Carpenters,
CCF.
right?
There you go.
And I know you're all in, I can tell. And so this light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, okay. So I started adding songs to the collection and doing them, and wherever I went, then people were saying, oh, you sound a bit like her.
Right.
Oh my gosh, can you do a Carpenters song? And then then that's how the idea began.
A bit. It's
Unbelievable.
eerie how close you
It
sound.
is.
And
It
I
is
don't
unbelievable.
try and sound like her. I mean, if I sing any other songs, I sound
You'll
like
sound
it's
just
the
like
kind
her.
of same resonance, and I'm an alto. So.
And Tracey had mentioned earlier, she had such a pure, her voice
Right.
was just so
Yeah.
pure and played so well and came through so well. And for yours to just naturally do the same thing, it's pretty incredible.
Thank you. I have to tell you, when I recorded the album, this is about my 5th or 6th album, it was like doing slow bench presses. This singing requires an enormous amount of control.
Okay.
And although I had ultimate respect for Karen, after spending hundreds of hours in the studio, I have even more.
Right.
Because of the control it took to sing
Well,
these
and
tunes.
it's hard to sing along with the Carpenters because, yes, you mentioned you're an alto, she's an alto,
Right.
but she can hit some pretty high notes for an alto,
Yeah.
so you can't be just your typical Alto. You have to have quite a range.
It's got to go way high.
Yeah.
And again, the name of the show is Superstar. It's a celebration of music of the Carpenters, and so you go from playing out these songs to ending up doing a show coming up this Sunday, March 31st at the Ohio Theater. Well, that's a big leap.
Yes.
How does that? And by the way, Karen's brother is okay with this.
Yeah. So what happened was I started the idea began. I started to produce the show. It was about 10 years ago, and I first of all made the terrible mistake of trying to copy, which isn't me at all. I mean, I write songs, I'm a musician, I play the flute and the piano, but what I did was, I have to make it sound like them.
Right.
And I did the show, and people loved it, but it was very unsatisfying, because really you need a whole orchestra. They used oboes and French horns and strings, and that's a lot, that costs a lot. So I went back to the drawing board after my album Spellbound was up for a Grammy nomination, and a publicist in California said, "Oh my God, this Carpenter show is an amazing idea." And I thought, yes, but I can't do this tribute thing. It's just not my thing. And I have the most incredible group of musicians. So we got together and said, what do we do? What do we do really well is that we take songs and we make them sound like they should the way we do them.
Okay.
So we produced the show for this band that I have the way we wanted to play the songs, and started to tour it kind of under the radar.
Right.
And work out the kinks. And then David Green of Playhouse Square came to see it about a year ago and agreed to book it for Playhouse Square, which is the most special thing. But and then in all that, I contacted Richard, because I didn't feel right doing it without his blessing. And through his management, he's quite an introvert. But to cut a long story short, he got back to me and said, go for it.
Wonderful.
I didn't want to, I wanted to focus on the joy of the incredible music and the success of their music, and the way it still touches people's hearts.
It holds up.
And the response to this show, I mean, I sung all over the world. The response to this show just blows me away every time. People cry, and they want to hug me, and they're the same with the band. They want to hold you. Oh my gosh, I have so many great memories, and it really is. It's very heartwarming. So we're very excited about Sunday. Can you tell?
Yes, absolutely. And again, it is this Sunday, 3:30, Ohio Theater, Playhouse Square. Tickets are extremely limited. Go check playhousesquare.org just to see what may be out there.
There were about 100 left on Friday, but they were going yesterday. So, but there's not a bad seat in the Ohio Theater.
No. Yeah.
Some of those big theaters right at the back, you can be a little bit in the nosebleeds, but in the Ohio, actually, there's not a bad seat in the house. So.
And pitch perfect, as you can imagine. Everything sounds great in there.
Yes, the sound is awesome. The band is awesome. And we tell lots of sort of rare, fascinating backstage stories are woven into the music.
It would have to be. And it was such a monstrous time for the Carpenters, that whole stretch through the 70s where it was just every song went to number one.
Yep.
It's like, what's next? What are we going to put the number one again? It's just unbelievable.
They had 16 consecutive top 20 hits, and every single went to number one or number two, and nobody has come close to beating them. And actually, with all the shows I've produced, usually we are struggling to find the final 4 songs, and with this show, we have to make medleys of songs to get everything in.
Oh, right. That was the
champagne problem.
Yeah, right, exactly.
When we had so much
First world
material.
problems.
Yeah, right. So difficult.
And we still get people who come after us and go, "You didn't sing."
Right. Or you only sang part of this song.
Right.
I wanted to hear that thing.
Yeah, we're going to do the
bands
return
do
of
the same
Superstar.
Unreal. Well, listen, we knew you were going to be an absolute delight, and you have been.
Thank you.
I could listen to her talk
I know,
all day.
absolutely.
In fact, can I get you for like my car navigation?
Yeah, right, exactly. I just want to hear that.
It's so soothing.
I said turn left.
That would be fun.
Helen Welch has been our guest. If you're lucky enough, hopefully you've gotten some tickets for this. Again, it is Sunday, March 31st, the Ohio Theater, Playhouse Square, 3:30. Playhousesquare.com. Go take a look. Helen, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
We want to just keep
I just
you
want to hear her
around.
say, mind the gap.
Mind the gap.
There it is. That's the one.
There it is. That's the money shot right there.
Thanks, Helen.